Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So we're going to be looking at the importance of secondaries and what areas you need to look at to improve these. Let's go. So today we're going to be talking about a few things. Firstly, we're going to be looking at where do our secondary attributes come from. We're going to be looking at how to increase our secondary attributes, and then a few things that I would suggest for increasing these. So this video is more for people that are new to Diablo Immortal or those that aren't quite clear on their secondaries and what they actually do. It's quite straightforward when you look into it, and this information can be found quite easily in game if you know where to look, and it's not that obvious about clicking on some of them either. So we'll go through all of this. So firstly, where do our secondary attributes come from? These come from legendary gear, Ibenfire Sanctum, set items, and normal gems. So we're going to start by taking a look at normal gems. So I'm going to go here to the jeweler so that we can see my gems in full. So these are your normal gems. So they're things like citrine, tourmaline, aquamarine, sapphire, and also ruby. And lastly, the one that I cannot remember what it is called, topaz, that's it. So these all contribute towards our secondary stats. So each gem represents a different area. So when you click on them, you can see ruby here increasing my life. Citrine is increasing potency. Sapphire is increasing armor penetration. Then we've got tourmaline increasing damage. We have aquamarine increasing armor. And we have topaz, which increases resistance. So we're going to look at these areas in a little bit more detail as well. So these are the normal gems. This is one way that you can increase your secondary attributes. So secondary attributes can be found in your inventory here when you open your inventory, and if you click on the little person logo at the bottom and then click on more attributes, and it will give you a breakdown of what your secondary attributes are at the top here. So we've got armor penetration, potency, and resistance. To look into life and damage, that is on the first part, so the first screen when you click to see your attributes. So the secondary attributes are actually really important, and it's interesting, or it's important to know where they come from so that you know which areas that you need to work on. If you're looking for more armor, for example, or if you're looking for more potency and resistance. So firstly, as I said, we have the normal gems. So I've already gone through which one helps with each area on that. Then we have our gear. Now we have the green items, so our set items or our secondary items. These have these attributes. So this is listed here as fortitude, willpower, and intelligence. And then there's one for vitality as well, which you can see on this one. Now, these attributes are specific for wizard. Other classes will have strength instead of intelligence. They both do the same thing. So to work out which of these attributes actually contributes to which secondary stat, you can click on that attribute here and it will tell you exactly what it does. So fortitude at 744 increases armor by 74 and armor penetration by 74. Then looking at the willpower, this increases potency by 74 and resistance by 74. And looking at intelligence, this increases damage by 224. Then looking at the last one, which is vitality, this increases life. So you can see here, vitality at 742 increases life by 2,226. Now I'm just going to go through this top line because I want this to be as easy as possible for everyone to understand so that you know exactly what to look out for. Now, when you look at your secondary attributes as well, another thing we can look into is what each area does. So what each attribute actually relates to in game, and why you might want to work on specific areas compared to others. So let's take a look at that now as well. So armor, if we click on armor here, the description says reduces all damage taken and increases blocked amount. Your armor is 1805 higher than expected for your level in your current activity and difficulty, increasing your damage reduction from blocking by 18%. From a base damage reduction of 50%. So the base damage reduction is 50%, but I've got slightly higher than average stats for my armor, so I get that little bit of an increased, I get that 18% increase there. Next up, armor penetration. Ignores some enemy armor and increases critical hit damage. Your armor penetration is 2,093 higher than expected for your level in your current activity and difficulty, increasing your critical hit damage by 55% from a baseline of double damage. So critical hit damage and critical hit chance I will also touch on in this video so that you can have a little bit of an understanding of that. Next up we have potency. compared against enemy resistance to modify the duration of all harmful effects. Your potency is 1791 higher than the resistance of monsters your level in your current activity and difficulty, increasing durations by 34%. When playing against players, you gain up to 50% increased control duration. So harmful effects, just to cover what those are top line, that's things like burn, bleed, poison, and loss of control and total loss of control. And that's why it says when playing against players, you gain up to 50% increased control duration. So that means that when I'm putting a loss of control effect on them, the duration will last up to 50% longer than someone with the lower potency or low resistance. Now, resistance is the last area to look at. Compared against enemy potency to modify the duration of all harmful effects on you. Your resistance is 767 higher than the potency of monsters your level in your current activity and difficulty, reducing durations by 19%. Against players, durations are reduced by 35%. So resistance, this will help combat potency. So this means if you have high resistance and someone has put a damage over time effect on you, like burn, bleed, or poison, this will actually stop you taking as much damage as it would if you had low resistance. So you can see my resistance is actually quite low. That is an area that I need to work on. So I'll need to go back and look at which area I need to build on. So that means I need to look at willpower, as willpower is what actually helps with my resistance. If we take a look here again, so willpower there, that's increasing my resistance. So I need to look for that attribute on more of my gear to gain a higher resistance overall. Now, a few other areas other than gear and normal gems as where you can get your secondary attributes for. The other area that you can look at is Ibenfire Sanctum. So we're going to head there now and take a little look into what this does and the legacy of the Haradrim as well, and what areas you can work on in that for overall increase in damage, as well as obviously increasing on these secondary attributes. So let's head into the Sanctum now. You can find this in Westmarch for those that don't know, and as I said, those that are new to Diablo Immortal. For people that have already played this game for a while, most of you will know everything that I'm showing in this video, but I just wanted to make something that's a little bit more of a beginner's guide, as I know a few people still find these helpful. So when you enter Ibenfire Sanctum, there is a shrine in the center here. When you click on this, this will give you a breakdown of your overall bonuses. So you can see I've got a life bonus of 2080, a damage bonus of 176, armor is 999, armor penetration is 999, and potency and resistance are also 999 increase. Now, to increase on your areas in the legacy of the Haradrim, you can collect these different gems, and you want to make sure that you have all of these in the legacy of the Haradrim. Each gem is actually pertaining to a specific attribute. So you can see this one here is for armor penetration. This next one is for armor. Then we've got potency and resistance in one. We've got potency, we've got damage and life, armor penetration and armor, life, resistance, and finally damage. So those are the different areas that you can upgrade on. Now, something you'll notice is that my damage and my life nodes, I don't have upgraded as highly as I do on my other nodes, like the armor penetration and armor. Now, this is because your secondary attributes actually have a lot of importance to them. So it is much more important to upgrade on things like armor, armor penetration, potency and resistance than it is to upgrade on life and damage. So if you're looking at upgrading nodes on this, I would say to focus on the ones that are going to help you build your armor, armor penetration, potency and resistance. This will really help, especially in PvP and also in higher difficulties. If you have high secondaries, it honestly makes such a difference. You'll probably notice when you play Battleground, quite often people that are doing really well, they might not have high resonance, but they do have high secondaries. And I've played this before or I've seen it before when I've been playing Battleground myself, and someone with low resonance has beaten me several times because they've got extremely high secondaries. So this is why the secondary attributes are also really important to focus on. Now, to upgrade your legacy of the Haradrim, you can collect these materials at the top. So we've got garnet, sapphire and beryl, and these you can obtain from completing the Ibenfire Sanctum every day. Now, I would recommend actually completing this every single day. I did send my pets in to do this today. You can actually send the familiars on their expedition each day to complete this. so that you do get your aspirant keys. And each day you gain 4 aspirant keys. These will then help unlock the different chests that you can then get those materials from for upgrading. So I'm going to show you this now because I've got quite a few keys. So we'll just head through here and take these mobs down. Obviously I'm not going to have any keys drop here because I've already sent my familiars on this expedition for this today. But if you were to complete this before sending your pets to do it, you will be able to collect those keys from defeating the mobs as well. So as we head into the first room, you can see we've got these chests. The first one has been taken because that one has the free daily rewards, which is what my pets have also collected. But we can unlock some of these chests because I have enough keys for them. So we're going to go ahead and do this now. And you can see these materials are dropping for the upgrades on the Legacy of the Radrim. Now, I have a feeling I'm probably not going to gain enough materials to actually upgrade any of my nodes today because I am quite high up with my upgrades on my Haradrim already. And so it takes a lot of materials now for me to be able to upgrade just one node. I normally need well over 3,000 materials of a specific gem type to actually be able to upgrade it. But we'll try. We'll see if we can actually get any upgrades done on this today. So I'm just going to open a few more chests here. And I still have enough keys to open more. I'm quite surprised. I obviously haven't run this myself for quite some time. My keys have obviously just been building up in my stash without me even realising. So let's head into the last room now. So there's all 4 rooms in total. And this last room, if you open all of the chests, there is this bonus chest that also opens in the middle, just as a reminder while I'm here. So I think I can open, 2 more chests. So we'll open these 2 and then we'll head back to the centre and look at the shrine and see if we can upgrade on any of my secondary stats here. So let's take a look. I think I'm still going to be really low. Yeah, I have nowhere near enough materials. So you can see my next upgrade on armor, for example, on armor penetration, would be 3,400 garnet, which I don't have. I have just 2,700. But as I said, Legacy of the Radrim is another area that you can look at to increase on your secondary attributes. So how do we increase our secondary attributes? As I've already mentioned, you can upgrade your Legacy of the Radrim. You can also upgrade your normal gem ranking. And the last thing you can do is upgrade gear. So unfortunately, I can't show you on this character because I have full gear upgrades on my legendary items and I don't have enough material to upgrade this. But I should be able to give you an idea if we head to the blacksmith on actually where the increases can come from and what it increases on as well. So we're going to head there now and take a little look at this. So now we're at the blacksmith. We're going to go into services and we're going to go to upgrade. Now, as I mentioned, I do not have the materials to upgrade these items, but it will tell you here that it's also increasing the intelligence and vitality as well as combat rating. So each gear piece, it will upgrade on 2 of the attributes as well as combat rating. And you can see that on each item, it tells you which 2 attributes it's going to increase and also what combat rating it's going to increase. When you click to upgrade, obviously it tells me that I don't have enough materials, but you'll actually get a little bit of an increase on these secondary attributes as well as on your combat rating from upgrading the gear pieces. Now that's the same for the legendary items as well. So when you upgrade these, it does increase, you can see intelligence and vitality from the gear as well as actually from the actual, from the gear slot, as well as from the actual specific gear piece. So gear upgrades is another way that you can gain a little bit more on secondary attributes. So lastly, a few things that I'd recommend to do if you want to focus on your attributes is to not sell your normal gems. So you do get an amount of gems each day that are sellable. They will have the market logo on them, like these ones you can see in my stash. However, I don't actually sell these. I buy as many normal gems as I can with platinum, and I always keep my normal gems whether they're sellable or not so that I can actually upgrade my secondary attributes as much as possible. Another thing that I'd suggest to do each day is run Sanctum every day, as I said, so that you can gain those aspirant keys and open as many chests to gain materials to upgrade your Legacy of the Haradrim. And the last thing I'd also recommend is keeping specific gear for PvP. So in doing this, you can focus on specific attributes that you want for PvP. So you might be someone that works with a build that has poison and fire in it. So you might want to have more potency or more resistance in your build if you're using that. Or if you're using skills that hit hard already, you might want to go for more armor or armor penetration. So that is it from me for this video today. I hope you found this helpful. As I said, I wanted to make it as easy as possible for anyone to understand. I hope if you're new to Diablo Immortal, you're excited to play and that you're excited to go forward with this extra knowledge of attributes and how to increase them. And for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.
Official Diablo partner.